All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about what might be one of the biggest shifts in human history. And no, this isn't just about some new app or gadget. We're talking about a fundamental upgrade to the entire operating system of civilization. It's a change that's going to redefine how you live, how you work, and what you even see as your purpose. But before we get into the big picture, let's make this personal. Just think about this for a second. What if you woke up tomorrow and all your basic needs, food, water, a place to live, energy, were just taken care of, guaranteed for life? What would you do with your time? How would you choose to spend your days? To really understand where we're going, we first have to get a handle on where we are. Right now, our world runs on a system that's been in place for thousands of years. Let's call it humanity's Day 2 operating system. And the core principle, the thing that makes it all tick, is scarcity. For literally millennia, this one idea has been the invisible hand shaping everything: our economies, our governments, even how we think about our own lives. It's the reason we're all taught to compete, to climb ladders, and to kind of live with this low-level fear of not having enough. And that principle is scarcity, the deep-seated belief that there just isn't enough to go around. But here's the thing. Scarcity isn't just a fact of nature. It's a design principle that we've built our entire world around. It's what forces us to compete with each other. And most importantly, it forges this brutal, unbreakable link between the work you do and your very right to survive. In this Day 2 world, the rule is simple. You work or you don't make it. And for a long, long time, nobody really questioned that. But that foundation, that core assumption of our world, it's starting to crack. We're now moving into this massive transitional period, a messy space between the old world and the new. This is what we can call the beginning of Day 3. So why is this happening now? Well, it's not magic. It's being driven by some very real technological shifts. For one, the cost of producing the things we absolutely need to live is just plummeting towards zero. At the same time, automation is starting to break that link between human labor and production. Plus, our digital world can scale forever for almost nothing. And on top of all that, we're finally figuring out that regenerative systems actually work better than just extracting and depleting. All of this, together, is causing that old mindset of scarcity to just break down. And look, this isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It is happening right now, in the most critical parts of our society. Just look at energy. Renewables are now the cheapest option in most places. Or food. We're seeing the rise of vertical farming and regenerative agriculture. And of course, labor, where automation is taking on more and more tasks. The transition to Day 3 isn't coming. We're already in it. Okay, so if Day 3 is the transition, what's the destination? Where's all this heading? Well, it's pointing toward a totally new structure for society, a Day 4 that's built on a really powerful new concept: universal utilities. So how does something like food or energy become a utility, like tap water? Well, it's a technological process. First, the cost to produce one more unit of something drops to basically nothing. Then you automate the production so it doesn't need human labor. After that, you can distribute the infrastructure, moving it from giant central plants to local networks. And finally, you make the whole system regenerative. When all that happens, life's essentials stop being products you buy and start acting like utilities you just have. And this is the part that changes everything. In a Day 4 world, survival isn't the prize you get for winning the game. It's the baseline. It's a guaranteed right of being a part of civilization. Your access to the basics is no longer tied to your job. It's just part of the infrastructure. Which brings us to what is maybe the most profound question of all. If your survival is guaranteed, what happens to you? What does work even mean anymore? What becomes your purpose? This right here perfectly captures the huge psychological shift we're talking about. Our lives for all of history have been defined by that Day 2 question. What do you do to survive? It's the first thing we ask people. But in a Day 4 world, that question just evaporates. It gets replaced by a new one, a better one based on choice, not on fear. How do you choose to contribute? Because when you finally break that chain between work and survival, something amazing happens. Human potential is unleashed. All the time, the stress, the energy we pour into just getting by can be redirected. Think about it. We could see an explosion of creativity, of community building, of scientific discovery, of actually taking care of our planet. Work doesn't disappear. It transforms from a means of survival into an active contribution. And of course, a shift this big in our individual purpose has a massive ripple effect. It totally changes how we interact with each other as a society.
I mean, think about it. In a world of scarcity, it makes a certain kind of sense to compete, right? To hoard resources. But when those resources become abundant, that logic gets flipped on its head. Suddenly, collaboration is the smartest and most efficient way to solve big problems. Sharing becomes more valuable than hoarding. The whole social fabric begins to change.
And it is so critical to understand that this is about way more than just everyone having more stuff. This quote absolutely nails it. What we're talking about here is a species-level evolutionary event. It's an upgrade from a civilization run by fear to one driven by possibility. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most challenging idea of all. The technology for this abundant future, it's either already here or it's right around the corner. The real bottleneck, the thing holding us back, isn't a lack of invention. It's us. It's our own maturity as a civilization. So the question we have to leave you with is no longer, can we create this world, but are we ready to?